Learning rate schedules are easier than they sound. We will plot the common ones in Python and learn what each is trying to do. If your training loss stalls or the model jumps around, the learning rate is usually the first place to look. In this video, you will learn to read schedule shapes, pick between step decay, cosine annealing, and one cycle, and run a tiny experiment that compares them. You will leave able to sketch a schedule for a real run before you wait hours for results. I'm Professor Pi, teaching AI foundations from basics to advanced, with simple concepts-first Python that helps you solve bigger real-world problems. Learning rate schedules solve a practical workflow problem. Training is an iterative update process, and the step size controls how far each update moves. Pick too large a step, and training diverges. Pick too small a step, and training crawls. A schedule changes the step size over time, so you get bold early progress and stable fine-tuning later. At a high level, a step schedule holds the rate steady and drops it at intervals. Cosine annealing makes that drop smooth and continuous. One cycle rises to a short peak, then cools, which often speeds convergence and helps escape shallow traps. Strengths and weaknesses are simple. Step is predictable, cosine is smooth, and one cycle is aggressive but can be fragile if you overshoot. We will build each schedule with small toy values, plot their shapes, then run a tiny analytic gradient descent on a quadratic to see how each compresses the loss. No heavy frameworks, just plain Python, so the ideas are obvious and portable. This snippet creates a constant learning rate sequence to ground intuition. We set a small horizon t and a base LR, then build LRS0 as a list that repeats the same value for every step. This mirrors training with a fixed learning rate, where each update uses the same step size. The code is pure Python and uses only a list comprehension to form the schedule. Raising base LR would increase both preview values, and lowering it would shrink them uniformly. The print shows the first and last learning rate to confirm the sequence is truly constant. Now we will build a step decay schedule and inspect where it changes. This snippet builds a step decay schedule that drops learning rate at intervals. The variable step size controls how often a drop occurs, and gamma sets the multiplicative decay applied at each drop. The list LRS step uses integer division of the index by step size to count how many drops have happened so far, then scales base LR by gamma to that power. The counter change scans for points where the schedule changes, giving a quick sense of how many plateaus you get. Smaller step size increases changes, while gamma closer to 1.0 makes drops gentler. The printed change count validates the number of step transitions you configured. Next, we will make a cosine annealing curve and compare averages. This snippet generates a cosine annealing schedule and compares its average to step. The list LRS cos starts at base LR and smoothly declines to nearly zero, using math cosine over the full horizon. We compute the arithmetic mean of LRS step and LRS cos to summarize how aggressive each schedule is on average. The variable lower picks the schedule with the smaller mean, which often implies smaller average update sizes and potentially steadier late training. If you made step size very large, step's mean approaches the constant baseline, while cosine typically stays lower. The printed choice names the schedule with the lower average learning rate. Next, we will create a one-cycle shape that warms up and then cools by cosine. This snippet constructs a one-cycle schedule with a warm-up rise, then cosine cooldown. The PCT up fraction decides how many steps ramp from base LR to LR max via a cosine half wave, and the remainder cools back down with another cosine half wave. The list LRS1C builds this piecewise shape, producing a single clear peak. We then find peak, the index of the maximum learning rate, to verify where the ramp tops out. Increasing PCT up shifts the peak later, while raising LR max increases its height and can make updates bolder. The printed peak confirms the schedule's apex position and magnitude. Now we will run a tiny analytic comparison that mimics gradient descent on a simple quadratic. This snippet runs simple gradient descent on a quadratic to compare schedules. For f of w equals w squared with gradient equal 2 times w, each step scales w by a factor of 1 minus 2 times LR. So the final w is the initial w times the product of those factors. The code computes the resulting loss for each schedule using the product function from the math module to avoid a manual loop. We pair each name with its final loss and pick the smallest, giving a tiny but complete baseline check of training efficiency. Increasing LR max in one cycle can overshoot and worsen this metric, while lowering base LR slows contraction for all schedules. The printed label shows which schedule minimized final loss here. In a real project, you would map these toy schedules directly to your optimizer and measure validation loss after a handful of epochs. The plotted shapes tell you whether your optimizer will be conservative, jumpy, or peak once. For example, one cycle with a larger LR max can speed up early fit on a medium-sized dataset, but needs careful clipping and an appropriate warm-up fraction. Recap: a learning rate schedule changes step sizes over training to balance speed and stability. Use step decay when you want predictable, discrete drops and less surprise. Use cosine when you want a smooth, continuous decay, and one cycle when you want a short, aggressive phase followed by cooling. But watch for overshoot. Next step: tune LR max in the one-cycle schedule and rerun the tiny experiment to see how peak height changes final loss. If you like this Foundations approach, subscribe and watch the AI Foundations videos.